Hello, my name is Connor Kenny, and today I'll be doing an analysis on the negotiations that happened between the USA and the Taliban, also known as the Bergdahl Exchange. Background of the negotiation. These negotiations took place between the United States of American military and the Taliban. These negotiations began after a 13-year exchange between both militaries and was the first public prison exchange of a US soldier between the two sides during the 13-year battle. These negotiations were a key point in the exchange between the two sides and what deals could be crafted and executed in the future between the two sides. Although many offers had been made by the Taliban before, it took many attempts before the US was open to a negotiation attempt, and then many attempts before a deal was finalized. Components of the deal. There were a number of parts to the deal, which include specific conditions and terms of agreement for both sides, which would allow the smooth exchange of prisoners to their counterparts. The first part of the deal was the number of prisoners to be exchanged. The second part was the specific prisoners to be exchanged. The third was the extent of the violence committed by the prisoners, and this was described as the blood on their hands. The fourth was whether the prisoners will return home or to be sent to a third and impartial location. The fifth was, if sent to a third location, the rules regarding travel, freedom of movement, and the time duration at the third location. The sixth was the crafting of detailed procedures in order to execute the deal. Preparation for the negotiation. Preparation for the negotiation and preparation for the execution of the deal had to be very thorough due to the typical violent nature of military negotiation. This violent nature is typically used as a bargaining tactic, but could not be used in this negotiation due to the nature and danger of the exchange. Both parties conducted research on the best military options for prisoner release on both sides, including the political and legal implications of the release. Efforts being focused on the military and safety aspect of the deal led to other errors from the US. During the preparation for the negotiations, both sides agreed that the worst alternative for no agreement was a violent exchange, which led to many dying. Type of negotiation. The type of negotiation shown in this exchange can be described as integrative due to each side looking to find a win-win outcome from the negotiation. This integrative approach meant that both sides had to work together as well as separately so they could find an optimal solution for both sides. Although each side was focused on their own interests, it was in both sides' interests to achieve the win-win outcome of a peaceful transfer of both parties' prisoners. This win-win incentive for both sides meant that the pie was expanded due to the importance of success for both sides of the deal. This pie expansion was created through the potential post-deal success and what it meant for the future and the lives of the participants. Negotiation style used by each party. A few approaches can be seen from beginning to end of the negotiations. During the beginning of the negotiations, there was many failed attempts which fell apart due to both sides taking an avoiding style of negotiation. This was speculated to be out of fear on both sides of a failed and violent end to negotiations. During the successful negotiation stage, which took place, both sides seemed to change to a problem-solving and collaborative negotiation style. This problem-solving style was crucial for the execution of the deal due to the complexity of steps needed for a peaceful transfer. It was very important that both sides did not approach the negotiation with a competing style due to the potential for violence from both sides. Approach to the negotiations. Due to the great potential for violence from a non-deal situation, a creative approach was taken from both sides of the negotiation. This creative approach was crucial for the success of a peaceful transfer and helped solve various problems which had to be overcome. This creative approach led to involving the Qatari and Afghan governments to ensure what was described as a peaceful handover in a video which was taken during the handover. Outcome of the negotiation. While the overall outlook on the outcome of the negotiation is very controversial among both parties, the negotiation was deemed a success overall. As a result of the negotiations, Bergdahl was released on the 31st of May 2014 in the Khost province of Afghanistan. 5 Taliban prisoners were also released from Guantanamo Bay to the Qatari government later to be released. These 5 prisoners were known as the Taliban 5. Due to lack of preparation and overall haste of the deal, there was a breach in the law in the United States, which led to some public scrutiny for Barack Obama. The law that was breached stated that 30 days notice needs to be given to Congress for a prisoner's release from Guantanamo Bay. The main take from the outcome of the negotiation can be seen through the planning and execution of the exchange, which meant that there was no casualties during the turnover of both parties' prisoners. Implications for the future. One of the biggest results from this negotiation was for what it made possible for future negotiations. This was the first official prisoner release during the exchange between the US and the Taliban. Unfortunately, due to a lack of legal research and haste on the deal, there was a lot of criticism. After negotiation, there was a lot of criticism and debate over if the US should have even negotiated. This criticism was also met with a lot of discussion and debate, as many believed that this fundamental shift in US policy signals to terrorists around the world a greater incentive to take US hostages. Overall, this negotiation meant that a peaceful transfer of prisoners is possible and will have a positive impact for future negotiations of this kind. This is the bibliography where you can find anything that I've sourced during this presentation. This is the end of the presentation. Thank you very much for your time.